Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I'm Felipe, your crazy creative designer from Germany. Thanks for visiting the channel. If you like the content, give me a like, a little follow. That will go a very, very long way. Thanks. So today we're going to be building a little form area with a button, with a special button animation, so you can possibly implement it in one of your projects. But yep, let's take a look at it. So I had already prepared it. This is the current version. Okay, so if I go to preview, then you see that we have this little box here on the right, which is sticky, right, as you can see. Then in the middle we have a button here, which opens and closes with scroll. And these numbers at the very top, this is a countdown, which only works in the live version. So there you go. See, this is a countdown for another one of my initiatives, and you can keep this box on the right side and use it as like a form. All right, so fantastic. So I'm gonna go back to the project. I have already prepared all the assets, which are this kind of logo, two triangles, which I'm gonna use for the button, and a couple of mountains, and etc. So all this color that you see, the pink, this is generated by an overlay, which I set here with a blending of multiplier and a color with 85% opacity. So if I take that away, for example, there you go. So it's gonna be a mess. But the overlay with multiplier means that every element below it is gonna mesh with the color I chose, right? So fantastic. So let's think about this. We have a button on the right that is sticky. It is a form, right? So we need inputs, and we have this little button with a hover interaction, and we have a countdown menu. So what we have to do first is to build the structure, and then we can take a look at how to implement all those effects. Okay, so as you can see, it's already here. I'm gonna delete it. Then I'm gonna delete the styles just so we can redo them. There you go. Fantastic. So the rest is here, as you can see, and the assets are in our asset manager. So let's think about this. We first need the box element on the right, which is sticky with scroll. So in the background, we have a spline scene, so a 3D. And here we have the content on the right, and the content track is already flexed, which means we can add an element to its side. It already has padding, but yep. So I'm gonna add a div on the right, as you can see right here. I'll call this a sticky content contain. Okay. Well, actually, just sticky contain, much easier. Contain, all right. We already have a gap here, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah, we have a fluid gap v4. Okay, fantastic. So sticky contain. Okay, so let's check the reference again. Okay, so we have it appears to be a fixed size, right? I believe, if that's the way I built it. We'll just check again quickly. Yeah, I think it was a fixed size. Okay, so inside here, let's add another div before we do all the rest. So sticky contain. Let's say it's gonna be 20 VW, maybe something like that, right? Gotta pay attention to the gap on the left and the margin or in the padding on the right, which is 6.25. So because if I give it a minimum width, it's possible that it's gonna overflow. So maybe the best thing to do here is not to give it a minimum width, but to grow it, yeah, to as much as possible. So as you can see, it's not sticky yet, so we can do that, but just 1 second. Let me add another class here. So sticky, I'm gonna call this sticky wrap, okay? And in the sticky contain, we can turn that immediately, I think, into the sticky by, at the very top, I'm gonna use the same distance as the margin, as the padding. That is 12.5 SVH at the very top, because then the stick is gonna be on the same side, on the same height as the container with the content. Okay, so I'm gonna go to sticky. I'm gonna add here the same value as the padding, which was actually, we have a global padding here somewhere. Yeah. Margin top, or we can use the global padding vertical, I think it was S? No. M then. No. S? No, hold on. Let me just find it. 1 second. L, right? Yeah, okay. There you go. Fantastic. So yeah, as we scroll down, it remains in place, which is exactly what we wanted. I'm gonna add a little padding here to because we need this. Remember that there's a border, right? And inside there's a little padding for the content. So actually, I'm gonna go to the rep and yeah, okay, and I'm gonna give this a little padding. Let's say I don't know. Padding. No, not fluid this time, but I'm gonna give it a 1 rem padding, maybe. Okay, let's just drop some content here to see it. Yeah, paragraph has to be the color has to be changed here. I think we have to set it to the entire color. Why are you not showing, sir? There you go. So you can see the content, and as you can see, the text is already in the right proper colors. So we have a sticky rep. Okay, so this rep is going to contain a border, which we can set here. Where the border is. There you go. So I think I need the white. Yeah, I need to set it to white color so that it can apply the overlay. There you go. Fantastic. So let's go this. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements or something, right? For this number, the countdown, it's a little JavaScript, but we need the structure first. And then I'll show you how to apply the script. It's very, very easy. Okay, so let's create the structure first. So in the sticky wrap, we're gonna add for the text on top. I'm gonna add the div for the countdown wrap. Okay, and then we need a div for the powered by. Actually, we don't need to increase the down here. We can just create a text block, which is gonna be the powered by. Okay, so powered by Felipe Studio. I think it was centered. Yeah, it is centered, so we can center the entire sticky wrap. We can set it to flex vertical. Add a little gap, which could be. Oh, I didn't set those here. Gap XXS, which is 1 rem. How much is XXS? Rem 3. Let me just check the variables. I'm experimenting with a new style guiding system, so I apologize for the delay. So we have a gap, not fluid this time, like gap rem 3, which is 0.25. Let's use the gap, which is 3 rem. Okay, it's a lot. So rem 6. Yeah, let's use rem 6. So gap XXS, which should be that, right? Okay. So if I duplicate the text, okay. Is the gap XS. There you go. Okay, fantastic. So for the countdown, we're gonna need. Let me just check again. We're gonna need the countdown rep, and then we have the text blocks. Okay, so we're gonna do countdown rep. Inside the countdown rep, we're gonna add a text block. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna set the countdown rep to flex. Let's set it to a space between, and let's add just a gap of I don't know. So tiny gap to ensure it's not gonna say that. Okay, and then here, hold on, I'll just say 10, right? And then I can just 2, 3, 4. There you go. I can just copy that. But actually, doesn't look that good, does it? Yeah. Let's set it to space round. Yeah. Okay, I think that's better. And we can center the entire sticky wrap, which is no, X is not stretch, but center. There you go. So we can remove one of those. So now we get the button, which I'm gonna do right now. So we have the countdown wrap. Now we can add a bit for the button. We'll check that later. So sticky button for now. Okay. And then we have a form. consisting of just email and submit. This is the easy part, so we can add a form block, right? As you can see, it already has some properties applied to it. So we're gonna make it as wide as the, I'll give it a maximum width because I think it's suffering from that, right? Or not? Let's give it a width of 100% then. See, yeah, okay. Right, yeah, so we took the, all right, so, yep, all right, so we have to style those. We don't need the name field, so I can just delete that. No, actually not yet. There you go. So we just have the email address and the button. Should all be centered. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the form block. I'm gonna center the text like so. There you go. And then we have email address, so we don't even have that. It just says email. So email. And the text field, I'm just gonna give it a class of form field. Okay. Then we can turn it transparent and add a border of white, so it takes over the, there you go, the overlay. And this one, I'm not sure, so just to keep form label. I don't know why it is bold. Set it to normal. There you go. And the button now, so I'm just gonna set it to form button. We're gonna turn it into add 100% width to it, and same as the input, right? We're just gonna add the, yep. We're just gonna remove the background, set a transparent background, add the border radius with a light, which is white, and voila, beautiful. So the structure is actually set, or completely set, almost, right? Yeah, that's great. All right, so now we need that little crazy button. Let's see what it does. So we have a button, then we hover on it, and it opens up to showcase the illustration in the back. I didn't add as a, it doesn't do anything. It's just optics here, you know. All right, so let's think about that. So we're gonna need a div. We're gonna need the icon right at the back. We're gonna need a layer for the triangles. I'm gonna need a layer for the text at the very top. So at least 3 layers, 3 divs, I would say. Okay. So first thing we can do is to also set it to 100%. Oh, Jesus. So 100%. Let's just give a minimal height for now, just so we can see it. Okay, so inside the button, let's set a div. Let's say the sticky button is going to be relative. Let's set another 2 divs. Okay, so the first div is going to contain the image, and we can actually make this one relative to give it a height. All right, so sticky button icon wrap. Let's just add the right clip. Fantastic. So in here we can drop the image. So I'm gonna set it to flex and drop the image, which is already my asset manager. Okay, which is there you go. So on 4, this doesn't work, so it has to be the white one because again the overlay it's gonna take over the image, the overlay color. So I'm gonna add this, and then we can go and reduce the size and say something like button, yeah, just button icon, you know, easy peasy. So let's give it a maximum width or a maximum height. Let's say like 5 rem or something, 7.5 maybe, right? Something like that, I would say. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have the sticky button. We should add some padding here to the wrap. Okay, so we're gonna add like universal padding. Let's use rem here because it's more consistent. That's not enough though. Let's give it a S. Hold on. Apply it to all sizes. There you go. And yeah, let me just add a border so I can see it, right? So there you go. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little more. I'm just gonna give it pad global of, there you go. That should be 1. Yeah, okay. All right, we can work with this. Okay, cool. That's the icon then. Then we need the the shapes, right? And then we need the text. Okay, so let's call this the button shapes rep. Okay. How is it built again? Let me see. There are many ways to do this actually. So we have the icon rep, we have the button top rep, text. Okay, so let me just see again. Oh yeah, I had the triangle. 6. Okay. All right. I think I got this. Yep. Yep. Okay. So basically, we wanna add the shapes, the triangles, one on the left, one on the right, and they should be, the starting point is that they are together, right? And then they move apart. So let's do it as a, okay, hold on. This should be absolute. There you go. Should be on top of the icon, right? So the button shapes rep. Let's see if we can add them. Let's see what happens. Okay, hold on. Let's copy that in the shapes rep. Yep, like that. Oh wait, and the other one. So let's add another image, which would be the right triangle. There you go. As you can see, it's a little messy yet because they're both relative. If I add a flex here, yeah, it does work, but what's going on with that? So we have two images. Jesus. How did I do this again? Okay, so the best way to go here is actually to set them absolute, in position absolute. So I'm gonna go to the button shapes rep, which is already absolute. I'm gonna apply a button triangle 1 class here and a button triangle 2, okay? Right, so I'm gonna turn both into absolute shapes. So they are absolute to the button shapes rep. There you go, there's the left one, and the right one absolute as well. Place it here, and voila. There you go. So now they are together. And if I pull them, right, like that, there you go, for example, then they separate and they open up, basically, right? So that's exactly what we needed. And that is that. Okay, hold on. There you go. So now the only thing missing is the text, right? So we're gonna set this to actually button text rep. Okay, then this one can be set to absolute, and we want to place it on top of the shapes. Shapes is z index 2, so the text rep is going to be z index 3. Take up the full space, and then here we can set a flex and add a little text. Change its color to black, dark. There you go. So dark. And this is going to be the tune in text, right? So I can set it to both, actually. Yeah, it looks more similar now. Okay, cool. So we're almost there. What we need now is to create the animation so they can grow apart, and then I think we're good to go. So let's go to the button. By the way, let's just add a pointer cursor. Then let's add an interaction, a hover interaction. So mouse hover, there you go. Just on desktop. So let's say button or btn hover in. Basically, if we hover over the entire button, then button triangle will move, both of them. So it's gonna go from, let's check this out. So initial state, it's gonna go, let's say, to rem to the left. Sorry, -4 rem or something. Something like that. 6. I think 6 works. I forgot to set it to overflow none. Okay, hold on. The sticky button needs an overflow none. There you go. Okay, so right, so there's gonna be 0 rem. Okay, 0 rem. Then it goes to, yeah, there you go. But let's do the other one. So triangle, move and move. There you go. So it's gonna be 0 rem, and under move it should be 6 rem. Voila. And then actually they belong together. And then we just have to add a transition here, which would be, I don't know. Well, the expo could work. And the duration, yeah, and that one as well. Oh, the expo, oh, hold on, oh, the expo duration 1, and fantastic. And then on hover out, it's gonna close again. Okay, so, geez. So I'm gonna duplicate the effect. I'm gonna call it button hover out. And then we just have to reverse the direction. So it goes from -6 to 0 again. And this one goes from 0 to, from 6 to 0. And let's see. And beautiful. Look at that. It works. Nice. Just the text is actually supposed to disappear. So, but that's very easy. So we just go to the hover in, and then we go to the text wrap, and we can actually just reduce its opacity from 100 to 0, like that, here and there. And so it starts as 100, goes to 0, with an out expo duration of, let's make it just a little shorter, so it disappears first. There you go. Same thing in hover out, button text wrap, there you go. Opacity goes back to 100. With an out expo of 0.5. Okay. Let's see. So, nice. Okay, fantastic. That is the button. So all we need now is the countdown, for which we already have the structure. So I'll go to the JavaScript. You can just copy paste the code if you want. Should be here. There you go. So this is the countdown, and we can just, so we just have to add IDs to each of the blocks, which is listed here: days, hours, minutes, seconds. So I can say days. This is the first one, right? So I go to ID. So days. This should be hours. This should be minutes. And there should be seconds. Actually, we have to set a target date, right? So the countdown counts down to it, and that's here. Year, month, and day, and hour. Okay, so we can actually just change it to, this will be the 25th of June. Then I'll just save it, publish, and actually we can use the custom code function now here. So enable custom code, and let's see what happens. Countdown not working, appears. No, there you go. There you go. It just, I really don't like this custom code function yet. I'm sure they're gonna improve on that, but we can check out the published version. That's much more reliable and faster. And yeah, there you go. Jesus, of course I have to set a maximum width here, and the button, okay, I didn't do that properly. That is sloppy. Okay, let's correct this. Totally messed this up. Okay. So first of all, we have to give it a maximum width, just so it doesn't look, take up the entire thing. So I'll just give it a maximum width of 300 pixels maybe. And just see how it looks like. Nope, no custom code. Remove, I don't want that. No, like that. So yeah, okay. That's better. Okay, let's just try publishing again. There you go, and reload, and that should be better at least. There you go. So okay, now it's working. Otherwise, we will have to change the animation instead of rams or increase. We could use percent as well to make sure that it always takes up the proper percent. And I can see there's a little tiny issue here with the height. Sticky, hold on. Minimum height. Say 5 rem, not the minimum, but exactly 5. That should work. And yeah, okay, but there you have it. The sticky button, sticky box with the button, with the form, and you're good to go. I hope it was helpful. If it was, give me a like, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.